hope you're all doing well. For those of you that don't know me, because I actually don't know who's in on this class today, I'm Eric, and I'm happy to be here. If you're dealing with any injuries or anything significant, feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. But if you're feeling fine, we're going to get started in Shavasana today. So let's come to lay flat on our back. You have the option to take the soles of the feet together, let the knees splay, or you can have the legs straight out. Right, now let the legs just be heavy, let the body be heavy, let it feel like it's pressing itself into the mat. Let's start class the best way in the world, a nice deep inhale through the nose, let your belly draw up toward the sky. Nice and slow, exhale, navel back toward the spine. A little bit deeper this time. Inhale through the nose, belly, ribs. Slower than the last one. Exhale through the nose, ribs and belly. And the deepest one yet, inhale through the nose, belly, ribs, collarbone, fill the entire body. Slower than the one before it. Exhale. Collarbone, ribs, and belly. And the hands can stay next to the hips, or possibly, if you'd like, take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and start to find that pattern. Inhale deeply, maybe to the count of 3 or 4. Exhale fully, maybe to the count of 5 or 6. And then just start to go in and out of that pattern. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Start to check in with the body. Right? Start to see how you feel. How do you feel physically? How do you feel energetically? How do you feel emotionally? Take a moment to observe yourself without judgment. Again, inhale deeply. Exhale fully. And then just start to wiggle the fingers. Wiggle the toes. Maybe start to roll out the ankles and the wrists. Inviting these small movements back into the body. And then take the hands overhead, stretch and reach in both directions. Rock your head from side to side gently. Just smile. Right? And then start to gather the knees into the chest. Give yourself a tight little squeeze. You can start to rock side to side, massaging out the back, the low spine. Or if you want, you can start to make these circles with the knees like you're drawing on the ceiling. Getting the side to side with the in and out as well. And breathe. It feels so good on my back. Oh my God. It's so lovely. And if you're doing the circles, start to go in the other direction. One more. And then come back through center. Find stillness. Take the arms out like a T. Drop the knees to the right. And then just look over to the left. Little twist. Letting the spine loosen. One more breath. And then take the knees through center. Drop them to the left. And look to the right. Come on back through center. Reach for the outside edges of the feet, the ankles, or even the calves as we find happy baby pose. Right? Instead of moving, let's just be still here. Push the feet into the hands. Start to draw the knees down and breathe. Next time you exhale, let's release out of the pose. Let's take the feet to the mat. Like we're setting up for bridge. Graze the back of the heels with the middle fingers. Then plant the hands and feet. As you inhale, start to lift the hips to the sky. And as you exhale, soften the hips down. Again, inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, right back down. One more time, inhale up. Now hold here. Put weight in the heels. Engage the inner thighs. Plant the back of your head firm. 3 breaths. 2. 1. Gently release the legs to the mat, or butt to the mat. You can sway the knees from side to side. And then plant the hands right next to the hips, palms face down. Take your right foot, put it in the sky. Take your left foot, put it right next to the right for Waterfall Pose. Draw the navel in, flex the feet. Feel the belly start to warm up a little bit. We're going to take this opportunity to work on the core just for a couple of minutes. Flex those feet. Now, you could stay here. Like if you just want to hang in Waterfall Pose, I get it. But if you want to add a little core into this, take your hands, interlace them behind your right hamstring. And now what you're going to do is you're going to start to slowly, steadily lower the left heel. Keep the foot flexed. Keep the leg extended, then hover the heel. Nice and slow. You're going to start to bring the left leg back up. You're going to switch. Hands behind the left hamstring. Start to lower the right foot down. You can even start to draw the knee a little closer toward the nose on the left leg. Right, adding that hamstring stretch. And then you're going to switch. If you want to make it harder, lift your nose and your chest toward your knee and switch. And switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then legs meet back in the sky. Waterfall Pose. Start to draw the fingertips toward the toes, flex the feet, and then inhale, chest up. Exhale, back down. Inhale up. Exhale down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bend the knees, hug them into the chest, give yourself a little break, and breathe. All right, we're gonna do one more little core warm-up, all right? You're gonna find stillness, take your knees like a 90 degrees, knees over the hips, hands behind the back of the head. You have the option to do traditional crunches, right? Or if you want, you can take right elbow, left knee, straighten the right leg, hover the heel. And then left elbow, right knee, straighten the left leg, hover the heel. And in and out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees back into the chest and breathe. All right, start to rock the length of your spine this time. And then find your way into Navasana boat pose. Navel in, slide the shoulders, flex the feet, take 3 deep breaths. 2, it's way too hot in this room for this flannel. 1, and then cross the ankles, feet to the mat, hug the knees into the chest. We can put core away for a little while. And then roll over the knees, let's find tabletop pose. So tabletop pose. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Give yourself a nice steady base. And then you're just going to start to move through some cat-cow. So inhale, tilt the tailbone up. Let the belly drop. Draw the heart and chin forward. Feel your shoulder blades slide down the back in cow pose. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone. Navel to the spine, chin to the chest. Cat pose. Really round the shoulder blades. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, chin up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, navel to the spine, chin to the chest. Inhale, cow, belly drops. Exhale, cat, spine arches. And then float between the two. Inhale, exhale, cat and cow. Okay. Maybe you want to start to sway the hips from side to side. Maybe you want to turn the fingertips to the knees to open the wrists. Maybe one foot to the back of the mat at a time to get the calf. Take 3, 4 breaths. Do what feels good. There's no wrong answer. Two more. Last one. Nice and easy. Let's start to come on back through center. Let's focus in on the shoulders and the back body. Keeping the hips over the knees, start to walk the hands out little by little. Try to keep the hips over those knees, navel in, tailbone sticks up, and then soften the chin and chest down to the mat, puppy pose. Right? Instead of putting the forehead on the mat and looking down, put the chin on the mat and look up at your thumbs. Try to slide the shoulder blades down the back. Right, shoulders might be a little extra tight these days. 3. For 2. 1. Slowly start to walk the hands back halfway, peel the chest up, and then place the entire body on the mat. Focusing in on the shoulders, I want you to take your hands out like a T. I want you to flip your left palm face up. Take your right hand by your face. And now you're going to start to roll to the left hip. So you're going to roll onto that shoulder. You can stack the feet. You can take your right foot, put it behind you like a kickstand. Or you can take your right, that's step 1. You can keep your right hand on the mat. You can take your right hand to the sky. You can start to reach it back. Maybe the fingertips touch. Maybe you can interlace the fingers. Try to soften the shoulder blades together. And this is a lot of left shoulder. 3. 2. Nice tag. 1. Slowly, don't rush it, roll back through center onto your belly. Either setting up, scratch that, not either setting up, we are going to do this. Elbows onto the shoulders, forearms into the mat, plant the hands, plant the feet, and inhale, peel the chest up, start to pull your heart forward for Sphinx pose. And we have a tendency in Sphinx pose to look straight up, but what you really want to do is you kind of want to look at the top of the mat, like right between the hands to keep the neck long. Still pull the heart forward. 1 more breath. And then slowly lower down. Take the arms out like a T. We're going right side this time. Flip your right palm face up. Take your left hand, put it by your face. And then here we go. We're rolling to the right hip. You could stack the feet. Your left foot could come behind like a kickstand. Your left hand could stay by your face. Or you can start to reach it up and back. I'm trying to keep the shoulder blades soft. I'm trying to keep the heart open. And we're just breathing. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to slowly roll back through center. We're going to take 1 more back bend. It could be Sphinx, right? Or it could be Shavasana, arms alongside the body. Or the shoulders might feel pretty open. You can interlace the fingers, maybe the palms touch. Plant the tops of the feet so the knees lift off the mat. And as you inhale, start to peel the chest up. Draw the upper arm bones back. Right? Navel in. Maybe you lift the legs, push out through the big toes, engage the inner thighs. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then nice and slow, lower down. Big toes touch, knees out wide. Send the seat back, child's pose. If your forehead touches the mat, rock it from side to side. Guys, just know, we're gonna start to move. So as we do so, child's pose is here throughout the remainder of class. Like, if you need it for any reason, Take it. Start to find some stillness. Plant the hands, tuck your toes, take a deep inhale. Now as you exhale, lift your hips up, send them back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Right? And all you're gonna do is you're gonna start to pedal the feet. You're gonna bend a knee, you're gonna straighten a leg, nice and slow, get the hamstrings going. Try to extend the arms though. Try to press the chest back, try to hike the hips up toward the ceiling. Now if you want, you can start to sway the hips. Maybe you want to roll out to plank. Upward facing dog. Maybe you want to lift one leg at a time. Do whatever feels good. Take 5 breaths. Right. 3, 2. Okay. Start to settle into down dog, opening up the side body. You can keep your hands where they are in downward facing dog, or you can walk your hands toward your feet, one hand print. So like, just shorten your dog a little bit. Now, from here, take your right hand to your left ankle or calf, push the left palm into the mat, navel in. Now look under that left armpit for 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. Right hand to the mat. Left hand, right ankle or calf. Push the mat away with the right hand. Come on back through center. Downward facing dog. Let's keep warming up the core. Let's keep warming up the shoulders. In down dog, inhale. Exhale, roll it out to plank. High plank, high push-up, shoulders over the wrists, heels over the toes. You can modify plank by putting the knees on the mat or taking the feet mat distance. Now take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's do it again. Roll it out, plank pose. Take it back, down dog. Last time, roll it out, plank pose. Now hold here for a minute. Right? Navel draws in, glutes engaged. You can stay in plank pose or put your forearms on the mat. Come to forearm plank. Right? Ugh. Now, you could stay in forearm plank. I saw something on Instagram if you want to challenge yourself. In forearm plank, take your feet about outer hips distance. So give yourself a wider base. Yeah, perfect, Ash. Now, keep your forearm planted on the mat. Take your right arm alongside your right body. Reach for the back of the mat. Try to keep the hips square, though. For 3, 2, feel how your left hip starts to drop over time, Ash? And then switch sides.
It's perfect.
It's perfect, like a cat birthday. Try to drop that left hip, Ash. For 3, 2, on 1. Let's take a quick child's pose, just to give ourselves a beat, because that's not easy. Ashley made it look easy, but it's not. Come on back, downward facing dog. Last 2 down dog warm-ups. I want to open up the side body up by the armpit. So, in down dog, drop your heels to the right, bend your knees to the left side of your mat, and then start to press your chest and hips back, tuck your chin in, and you're going to feel this stretch along the rib cage right into the armpit. Right? So it's not like you're in total down dog, it's more of like a flat down dog, but it's still kind of got the shape. Let's take it to the other side. Heels to the left, knees to the right. Push the chin and hips back, or chest and hips back, I should say. All right. Come on back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Look to your hands. Exhale, little tiny tiptoe steps. Din, 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 din. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. In your forward fold, it's just, weight in the toes, soft knees. Hands can hang heavy. You could reach for opposite elbows. You could sway. You could shake the head yes and no. You can do anything you want here. Take 1 or 2 breaths. And then find stillness. Let the hands flop to the mat. Vertebrae by vertebrae, little by little. Roll it on up to stand. Little by little by little. Second, the head stacks on the shoulders. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up, Urdhva. Exhale, lead with the chest, hinge at the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. We're gonna start to move through some half sun A's. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, reach for the sky, up and back, Urdhva. Exhale, lead with the chest, Uttanasana, forward folds. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen. Exhale, forward folds. One more time like that. Inhale, up and back, reach. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold. Inhale for Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, long flat spine, shoulder blades back. Exhale, folds. Let's add on Sun Sal A. Inhale, up and back, reach for the sky. Exhale, lead with the chest, reach for the floor. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank. Let's take a moment in plank, right? Heels are over toes, quads engaged, glutes engaged. Navel draws tight toward the spine. Feel as if your biceps are pulling towards one another. You're gonna feel as if your chest is pushing away from the mat. Option number one for vinyasa, inhale, put your knees down, tilt your tailbone up. Exhale, chin and chest right between the thumbs, elbows to the right, ribs, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, flatten out the belly, peel the chest up, elbows still to the ribs. Bhujangasana, low cobra. Really feel the upper arm bones slide back. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. That's option number one. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Keep your left hand on the mat. Take your right hand to the sky, little twist. Option to put your left knee down, obviously. You don't have to, but it's always there for you. Right? Try to keep that right knee over the ankle. One more breath. Both of you, 6 stuff. Frame your front foot. Step your left foot to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, reach for the sky, Urdhva. Exhale, Uttanasana, reach for the floor, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, long flat spine, tailbone draws back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank. Right, take a moment in plank, right, just feel your strength. The option is knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready for Chaturanga Dandasana, roll forward on the toes, shoulders past the wrist. Now with control, lower down halfway, elbows to the ribs and hover. Untuck the toes, peel the chest up. If the thighs leave the mat, it's up dog. Soft shoulders, stretch through the belly. Or it's cobra, that's cool too. Tuck the toes down dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Keep your right hand on the mat. Left hand to the sky, a little twist. Thighs drawn toward the center of the mat if you're on your tiptoes. Left hand to the mat. Step the right foot forward and fold. One more Sun A, you with me? Awesome. Inhale, up and back, reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, reach for the floor. Hands to shins, inhale, lengthen. Option this time, fold, plant the palms, step back to plank. If you want to hop back to Chaturanga, you can. Woo! Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. There's always the third option for vinyasa, which is skip it. Just don't do it. You know, you could always just go right back to down dog. Okay, bring your feet together in the center of your mat in downward facing dog. Now roll out to plank. Roll to the knife edge of your right foot for Vashisthasana, side plank right. You can put your right knee on the mat. You could stack or stagger your feet. But what I really do want is that left hip pushing to the sky, so the right side of your body is engaged. Now, if it feels good, you can start to lift your left leg away from the right. Because ultimately, we're gonna get that left foot to the top of the mat. So if you want, you can move it there. If you wanna try the transition, left knee into the chest, and then start to square the hips, left foot to the top of the mat. Perfect, Ash. And then I want you to come on up, high crescent lunge. So you could square the front foot, or frame it, and then lift up. Very nice. Inner thighs draw to the center of the mat. Lengthen through the spine. Draw the belly in. 3 breaths. You definitely tell your mom and daughter for sure. Your warrior ones look so similar. Oh my God.
Are you warrior what?
Or no, your high lunges, but still, your high lunges, sorry.
I copy her.
That's a good person to copy. Hands to heart center, deep inhale. Get your right leg nice and strong as you exhale, hinge forward, warrior three. So now that right leg comes to hip height, the glutes engage, the quads engage, the calf is engaged. The toes face the mat. Hands could stay at heart center. You could reach for the center of the room. You could take your hands alongside your body like airplane wings. Try to keep the chest up. Very nice. Very nice, both of you. One more breath in warrior three, and here's where we dive down a little bit further. Standing split, hand to the mat, right leg to the sky. That right glute has to be engaged. Now, Ash is doing this perfectly. Her hips are square, her right toe's facing the mat, and it's not giving her as much length in the right leg as you would see on like Instagram, but you're getting the stretch for sure here. There's no two ways about it. Take one more breath. And then I want you to float the right foot to the back of the mat. And then take your hands to your hips. And I want to set up for pyramid. So take the right foot, pop it in like 3 to 6 inches so you can get both feet firm on the mat and square your hips to the front of the room. Take your hands to your hips. And then allow yourself to forward fold. Just drape your chest over the left leg. Hands can come to blocks. Hands can come to your ankle or your calf. Books, pillows, whatever you got. You're trying to pull the left hip back. Trying to soften the right hip forward. One more breath. This next pose you're probably going to need a block or some sort of prop for. I want you to take your right hand on the outside of your left foot. You can put your right hand on the inside of the left foot, it really doesn't matter. But then take your left hand to the sky, revolve triangle. A lot of outside left hip. Nice, Terry. Hips are perfectly square. Awesome. You too, unicorn. One more deep breath. We're going to come to a revolved half moon here, so you could re-square the hips. Take your right block, or take your right hand under your right shoulder. And you're going to start to hinge forward, balancing on the left leg. The right leg comes to hip height, left hand to the sky. This is my least favorite pose, I think, in all of yoga. It's very tedious to me. For 3, 2, on 1, left hand to the mat. Step your right foot back. Step back to plank. It's vinyasa if you want. It's skip it if you want. The inhale will take you to up dog or cobra. The exhale will take you to down dog. Bring the feet together in the center of the mat and down dog, roll out to plank. This time we're going Vashisthasana left. Left knee down, feet staggered, feet stacked. Right foot lifts away from the left if you're feeling particularly bad today. You know? But bad in the good way. Bad like Samuel L. Jackson says it, not like I'm having a bad day. Bad in the good way. If you want to try that transition, right knee into the chest and then step that right foot to the top of the mat. Otherwise, you can lower down. Frame your front foot, and here we go. We're coming up high crescent lunge. Ooh. We heard that across the tri-state area. Right knee over the ankle, really nice. Notice here how Ash has her left heel over the toes, and that's kind of what we're going for. When the heel is over the toes, the left leg is nice and strong. It's active, you know? Hands to heart center, fire off that left leg, deep inhale. Hinge forward, exhale, warrior 3. The stronger that left leg is, the easier this is going to be for you. We're breathing, we're stoked. Beautiful. For 3. Any variations for 2? 1. Standing split. Hands to the mat. You know, you can keep the hands to the mat. You could try to line up your hands with your foot. If you notice, you could take, like Ash did, one or both hands could come to the ankle or the calf to try to focus or try your focus and balance and concentration. breath. Killer stuff, gang. And then float the left foot to the back of the mat. What you're really going to do is set up for pyramids. You're going to start to come on up. You're going to bump that left foot in like 3 to 6 inches, not a whole lot. And then you can either fold right over the leg. If you like to come up, hands to hips, and then lead with the chest, you can. But the ultimate is going to have the hips squared. You're just going to hinge at the waist. Pull the right hip back. Yeah, I need blocks for this. Makes it so much easier. You can even get like a deeper stretch, I think, if you can get that leverage, you know. One more breath. Revolved triangle is next, so the hand comes to the left hand outside the right foot, or right against the right foot on the inside. And then the right hand to the sky. Lie outside right hip, right, Ash?
Yes.
It's a big 10 forward. And breathe. One more, guys. Now we're going to start to take the hands, frame the front foot. That block, that left hand is going to come right under the shoulder, and you're going to start to hinge forward for a revolved half moon. The left leg lifts, the right hand to the sky. For 3. For 2. Good stuff, dude. On 1, right hand to the mat, step the left foot back. Step the right foot back, plank, vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga, whatever you want. It's meeting down dog. Uh-oh.
I did this the other day too. Not now, I don't know. Why.
For the YouTube class, this is just a quick Zoom problem, and we're back. For the Zoom class, hope you're still with us. Take 2. Okay, inhale, look to your hands. We're coming to Malasana squat. Feet to the hands. Walk, step, hop, skip, or float. Sink the, oh my God. Sink the seat low. I've never seen somebody do it that quietly. Holy crap.
Ninja.
I'm saying, Ashley might be training for like the CIA or something. She's gonna come swooping in through a window later. Right? So like push the hand, I was super quiet dude. Push the hands together, elbows push the knees out. You're trying your best to draw the navel in and lengthen the spine. I say that because this is not the easiest thing to do in this pose. We have a tendency, especially if the hips are tight, to arch forward. Don't be afraid to use a block. Now, you can stay here, or if crow pose is in your practice, hands can come to the mat. Knees can come to the triceps, or hug them into the biceps. Draw the navel in, and then start to roll the weight forward. One or both feet can come off the mat. If both feet come off the mat, big toes together, heels toward the seat. Terry, you're the smart one. In crow pose, if you want to try to hop back to chaturanga, you can, just to take an extra flow. But we will meet back in Malasana squat. That was louder. Plant the hands. Lift the hips out, so you're not going to get into Ninja Academy that way. And forward folds. Reach for opposite elbows, ears in between the biceps. Now we're just taking a wide-legged forward fold here. We're swaying, we're releasing the low back. Okay. Let the hands flop. Roll it on up to stand and heel toe those feet back together. Dun, 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 dun. Big toes together. Slight gap in the heels. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend at the ankles, knees, and hips. Sink the seat low, Utkatasana chair pose. Try to slide the knees back. Try to roll the weight back too. Squeeze the inner thighs and the outer hips. Nice. Take your hands to heart center, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, left knee outside, left elbow outside the right knee. First thing that happens, that left knee wants to push forward. Try to draw the left hip back, keep them even. Push the top palm into the bottom palm. Options here, right? Open the arms, extend the palms, right? This deepens the stretch. You want to take side crow? Go ahead and take side crow. Palms to the mat, right thigh onto the triceps, and then you roll the weight forward or sideways. I'm not sure how that works. Sick, dude. One more breath. Come on back through center and fold hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank, hop back to chaturanga. It's vinyasa time, or skip it. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, put your right foot in the sky. Three-legged dog. Push the heel back, press the chest back. Inhale deeply. And exhale fully. I didn't say Simon Says. Inhale, come up on your left tiptoes. Exhale, right foot by your right thumb. This time, no this time, just come on up, high lunge. I didn't know if I was going to take you to warrior one first. There is no warrior one. Take your arms out like a T. Now, left arm under the right arm. Try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. Try to lift the arms. Your right foot, very strong. It's so strong. Your left foot light. Deep inhale. Exhale, left knee into the chest. Right? Now, wrap that left leg over the right. We're coming to Garudasana Eagle Pose. Option, you could stand up straight. You could just wrap the leg and stand up straight. But if you want to challenge yourself, bend at the knee and sink the hip like Utkatasana. But try to keep the torso up. Right? That's its own challenge. Navel has to draw in, inner thighs have to engage. If you're trying to focus on balance, if you're trying to focus on focus and concentration, start to hinge at the waist. Try to get the elbows or the triceps to the knees. Tuck the chin. This becomes a whole different beast. Not as much about strength, more about balance and focus. 3, 2. Now on 1, we're going to start to come on back up. We're going to unwrap. The left leg draws back to hip height. We're coming to Halfmoon Pose. So as we unwrap, the left leg comes to hip height. The right arm winds its way to the mat. The left hand to the sky. You could use a block, just like Ashley has it. If you're using a block, it's in front of the right foot and just to the right of it. So it's not in front of the right toes. It's ahead of it to the right. Flex the left foot, left hand to the sky. You could bend your left knee, you reach for the back of the foot for Chapasana if that's your thing. You could take the hands to heart center, challenging your balance, but take 3, 2. On 1, float your left foot to the back of the mat. Warrior 2, just for a moment. And then straighten your right leg, right hand to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, start to hinge and reach for the front of the room. Keep the right ribs long as you exhale, right hand to the mat, left hand to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Try to pull the left hip back. Try to lengthen the left fingertips to the sky. You could either look straight ahead or up. One more breath. Slowly come on back up. Rebend that right knee, warrior 1. And then cartwheel the hands down. Frame your front foot. Come onto your left toes and just drop that left knee to the mat. Try to keep the right knee over the ankle. Sweep the hands to the sky. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So the hips sink, the chest lifts, and your left hip flexor, it starts to engage. One more. Cool. Now frame your front foot. Inhale. Exhale, send the hips back, straighten the right leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. You want to use blocks, take them next to your hips, but flex your right toes. Draw your chin forward. Try to draw the right hip back. For 3, 2, 1. Start to walk the hands out. Rebend the right knee. Step back to plank. Move through the vinyasa or skip it. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down. Inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, feet to your hands. Walk, step, hop, skip, or float. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, sink the seat low, Utkatasana. Last time. Hands can come to heart center, deep inhale. This time we twist to the left, right knee, elbow outside left knee. Push the left palm into the right, nice and firm. Trying to draw the thumbs toward the center of the chest. You can extend the arms. That's going to really give you a nice stretch. Trying to work on your side crow, hands to the mat. Thigh, left thigh to the triceps, and then you're just balancing. Yeah. One more deep breath. We're all going to meet back through center and forward fold. Yep. Hands to shins, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, hop back, dance back, however you got to get there. And then vinyasa or skip it. I know our arms are probably starting to get a little tired. We got one more side. Put that left foot in the sky. Push the heel back, press the chest back. Let's put that left foot by your left thumb. Frame your foot. Use the inhale to come on up, high lunge. Nice there. Take your arms out like a T. This time the right under the left. Elbows start to line up with the shoulders, forearms go away from the face. Left leg strong, right leg light, inhale. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Just like before, wrap the right leg now over the left. You can stand up straight. Basically take the next 5 breaths. Instead of me breaking it down, take the next 5 breaths and do whatever variation feels good. But keep the inner thighs engaged, keep the navel drawing in. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Slowly start to come on back up. Unwrap. The right leg draws back, and as you unwrap, the left hand comes down, Ardha Chandrasana, Halfmoon Pose. If you don't like this transition, you can put the right foot on the mat and then hinge forward in a more traditional style. Right leg totally flexed. Look how Ashley's toes point straight out. That means she's flexing her foot. That right leg is not loose. It is engaged. You want to bend the knee for Chapasana. You want to take the hands to heart center to challenge the balance and strength. There are so many things you can do. Damn, dude. Just effortlessly flowing between transitions. One more deep breath. You got those unicorn powers. Start to float the right foot to the back of the mat. Warrior 2 just for a moment. Get yourself set. Then straighten the left leg, left hand to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, start to hinge and reach, reach, reach. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up. Trikonasana. Right, peel the right hip open. One more. Cool. Slowly come back up, rebend the left knee. Then cartwheel the hands down, square the hips onto the right toes, and then just put your right knee on the mat. Sweep the hands to the sky, sink the hips low. Anjaneyasana. Inner thigh, or right hip flexor sinks. Chest lifts, navel draws in. One more deep breath. And then frame that front foot. Send those hips back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Yeah, I love the blocks in this pose. Left hip draws back. One more deep breath. Nice and slow. Walk the hands back out, rebend the left knee. Plant the hands, tuck the right toes, step back to plank. Let's go through our last vinyasa of class. And we'll meet back in child's pose. Big toes touch, knees out wide. Send the seat to the hips. Right, take a sip of water. Towel off if you need to. But take 3 breaths. We're going to transition into our stretches, into our cool down. 2. 1. the toes. Downward facing dog. All right, let's set up for pigeon. Put the right foot in the sky, three-legged. Just draw the knee into the chest and put the shin at the top of the mat for pigeon pose. Right knee by the right wrist, but the heel can be in. Extend the left leg, straighten the leg, and then walk the hands back by the hips. Draw the heart open, one breath. And then start to walk the hands out. Soften the chest down. We're going to take 10 deep breaths here, just opening up into the right hip. Five more deep breaths. One more breath. Slowly walk the hands back under the shoulders. Peel the chest up. Bend your left knee. Reach your right or left hand for that foot. Draw the heel in. Right? If you have a different variation here, instead of just the quad stretch, like a mermaid bind, a back bend, something cool, by all means. Gently release from the pose. Plant your hands, tuck your left toes, put your right foot in the sky, bend your knees, stack your hips. You could shake it out. You could do circles. If you really just want to flip your dog, flip your dog. Hips up, heart forward. And then come on back through center. Downward facing dog. Let's get the other side. Left foot up. Draw your knee into your chest. Put your shin at the top of the mat. So you'll notice the left knee is by the left wrist, but if the hip is tight, the heel's going to be in. That's fine. You're trying to extend the right leg. You can walk the hands back by the hip first. Or definitely walk the hands all the way out and sink the chest down. You come to forearms or blocks or whatever. We got 10 breaths here. Couple more breaths. 3 more. 2. 1. Slowly release from the pose. Walk the hands under the shoulders, peel the chest. We're going to bend our right knee. Reach back with whatever hand feels good. Any variations, any binds, any back bends. For 3. 2. On 1. Release the hands to the mat. Tuck your right toes. Left foot to the sky. 3-legged dog. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. Circle. Shake it out. Whatever you want to do. Ultimately flip the dog if you want. Hips up, heart forward for Wild Thing pose. And then flip it back over. Downward facing dog. Okay, nothing really fancy here. Roll out to plank, and then lower straight down to your belly. Once you're there, roll over onto your back. Let's set up for bridge pose. Right? So the feet are hips distance apart. Take the middle fingers, graze the heels. Plant your hands, plant your feet, and lift the hips to the sky. Say to Bandhasana, bridge pose. Heels are engaged. Arms could roll under the back, maybe the palms touch. But really squeeze the inner thighs, really plant the back of the head. 3 breaths. Two. 1. And slowly lower down. Let the knees touch, windshield wipers from side to side. Let's take 1 more back bend. It could be bridge, which we just did, or if wheel or Vidanyarasana is in your practice, take your hands over your shoulders, fingers face your feet. Plant the hands, plant the feet, whichever one it is, lift the hips to the sky. If you're going wheel pose, try to straighten your arms and press your chest to the wall you're looking at. Keep the glutes and inner legs engaged. Bridge pose. Try to plant the heels, keep the inner thighs engaged for 3, 2, 1. And then nice and easy, lower down. Hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a tight little squeeze, and rock from side to side. Cool. Find stillness, take your arms out like a T. Drop your knees to the right, look to the left. And then take your knees to the left, look to the right. Come on back through center. Reach for the outside edges of the feet. Let the knees come to the armpits. Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Push the feet into the hands. Draw the knees down. Try to keep your shoulders and tailbone on the mat. And if you want to sway, you want to rock, you want to bend a knee, straighten a leg, straighten both legs. Do whatever you want here. Take 2 more breaths. One more. And then gather the knees back into the chest for a moment. Then release the hands down next to the hips, palms down. Take your feet, place them in the sky. One more time, waterfall pose. If you have a block, you want a restorative waterfall, put the block on your sacrum to help elevate the hips. If you want shoulder stand, start to roll up onto your shoulder ridge. Take your hands to your sacrum. Right. Nothing at the expense of your neck though, guys. Like if this starts to pinch or hurt, I want you to take a different pose. If you're in waterfall, you're hanging. If you're in shoulder stand, take a couple of breaths here. then if you want to come to Hanumanasana plow pose, let the legs start to drop over the head. Again, not at the expense of the neck. If you're in waterfall, you're just hanging. If you want to come to ear pressure pose, the knees can drop by the ears. 2 more breaths. This is a tough pose. One more breath. Now, if you're in waterfall pose, you're going to start to lower down. If we're in shoulder stand, let's gently start to lower down. We'll come to lay flat on our back. We're going to roll our hands under our glutes, palms face down. We're going to point the toes straight forward and draw the navel in, and then start to roll up onto the forearms. Let the head fall back for fish pose. Take 3, 2, 1. Very cool. Gather the knees into the, lower down and gather the knees into the chest. We're going to take our final stretch. Start to rock the length of the spine until you come up to sit. Extend the legs and just fold right over them, Paschimottanasana. 3 breaths. Final pose of class. 2, 1. And then gently release from the pose. Start to lean back vertebrae by vertebrae, little by little, until you find your way into Shavasana. Right? Let the feet splay, let the palms rest next to the hips face up. Let the body press heavily into the mat. I want you to focus on the breath, and I want you to focus on the subtle ways the body feels different as opposed to an hour ago. Alright guys, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Begin to roll out the ankles and the wrists. Start to deepen the breath. Take the hands overhead, stretch and reach in both directions. Like rock your head from side to side and just smile. And then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a tight little squeeze. Start to rock from side to side. Eventually leaning onto your right. And when you get there, just take a moment to think of one thing in your life you're crazy grateful for. When you have that one thing, start to press yourself up to Sukhasana, easy seat. Root down through the sits bones, draw the navel in, lengthen. And take the hands to heart center, close the eyes. Guys, thank you so, so much for taking a little time to hop on your mat, sharing your practice, and dedicating just a little bit of time to yourself and your practice. And thank you for letting us lead you in it. Hope you guys are doing well, feeling well, hanging in there. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Namaste.
Namaste.
Have a nice day, guys.